So Fox Business, which if you don't know, it's basically the libertarian wing of Fox News. It's a little better in that respect, but not much. This isn't our first time talking about them. The last time we talked about them, they talked about how we can't divide the Democratic Party and just giving really bad narratives. Don't worry, now they got a segment on Medicare for all. Let's watch.
What is the worst case scenario with Medicare for all?
I love how that's the first thing they ask about. She asked, by the way, just what's the most fear-mongering propaganda you can spew out about Medicare for all?
The worst case scenario is that the government, because they are paying our bills with taxpayers' money, gets in the business of telling us how to be healthy. The fact is, Kennedy, every donut you eat, you're now paying for the health care costs. Under Medicare for all, under single payer, then I will be paying for it. And I, or Kamala Harris, then gets to tell you not to eat it. I'm worried about them saying, well, 3 kids is fine, but any more than that is a little excessive because that's more healthcare people. When government is that involved in the most intimate aspect of the economy, which is healthcare, then you're going to have an increase in government control over our daily lives. And that's my main concern.
That is absolutely it. And that's why you saw Michelle Obama's well-intended food policies take effect in our nation's public schools, hand in hand at the same time as her husband's Health Care Act was passed in this country. And that's exactly right. And taxpayers should be going, if I am paying for it, why should I be funding the bad choices of individuals? And that can become extremely problematic.
Yeah, so
Oh god, that was awful. That might have been the dumbest conversation I've heard in a long time. Okay, so the example this guy gives, his name is Tim Curry, I believe, is that, well, if we allow Medicare for all, then the government will tell you how many donuts you can and can't eat. Does this guy not know what the FDA is? The government is already doing that via FDA. It's making sure your food can't give you salmonella. You know, just imagine if this guy lived in, like, the 1800s and we were proposing that idea. Well, under Medicare for all, we'd have to make sure there was no rat poison in the food. Oh my king, this guy's libertarian. He'd be fine with that. And the other example he gives is, oh, well, the government may tell you how many kids you can have. Well, first off, we already give you tax breaks if you have children. I don't agree with that, don't get me wrong. However, that is a fact. We do give you a tax break when you have children. And for that matter, one of the main reasons why Social Security is supposedly failing right now is because people stopped having as many kids. So if anything, in the long run, it would boost the economy if we had more kids, because then we'd have more workers, you know, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So his examples are completely unrealistic. If anything, the other way around could happen. But here's the main thing. Notice how this guy, throughout this entire time, doesn't give any examples. He treats it like we're the first country to even think about single payer. No, a bunch of other modern nations have tried it. And if you can find me an example of one where donuts are banned, they're coming for our donuts. Forget they're coming for our guns. They're coming for our donuts. Give me an example of a single country where donuts are banned. Or, for that matter, one that there are a few countries that had implemented one-child policies, like China, for instance. However, they took that away because they realized that was economically unsustainable. So it had nothing to do with healthcare. So, but if you can give me an example of a place where it has single payer, and because of that, the government was like, hey, man, hey, you can't eat donuts or have too many kids. What? And again, this all comes back to the question, well, what's the worst case scenario? Because they had to make this propaganda like as possible. So basically, don't believe Fox Business, believe the actual facts. That's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.